This is the first in a series of watercolours concentrating on snow. In this one I want to paint a picture that conveys the silence of an early morning after freshly fallen snow. I'll be using 4 colours: Ultramarine Blue, Payne's Grey, Raw Sienna with just a touch of light red. Start by wetting the paper with clean water. The paper is 428 GSM on a glued pad. It's very thick. This means I don't have to do any of that stretching lark. I have plenty of scrap paper standing by, waiting for me to try out my colours and techniques. Here is a splodge of raw sienna to make sure it's at the right dilution before I put it on the paper. That will be the warmth of dawn, both in the sky and reflected on the snow, which is why I bring it all the way down the paper. And a splodge of ultramarine blue to make sure it's the right tone before adding it to the paper while the raw sienna is still wet. And a quick swipe of Payne's Grey on the scrap paper too, and then onto the top of the paper. That's the night falling back against the rising sun. I don't want any hard lines at this point, so I go back in with a brush that has only clean water on it to soften them. Here is my scrap paper with swipes of the brush to check I have the right colour before putting it on my painting. While the paint is still wet, I splodge on more darker Payne's Grey because I can see the top of the sky will dry too light. Then I want it to dry a bit, so I get a coffee. In one of my Christmas cups, given I'm painting snow. I also have Christmas music playing. With a smaller brush I paint in clouds on that side of the distant hill to leave an outline of the hill. So far I've used as much clean water to paint with as I have actual paint. Some grey has been added to indicate shadow on this side of that hill, leaving the top of it unpainted because it's snowy up there. Then more shadows are put in. They are painted in order to make the not shadow bits look like snow. More shadow on closer hills. It's good to use the same colours throughout the picture rather than a couple of colours in the sky and different colours in the ground. This helps to harmonise the whole thing. I'm using the grey and mix to suggest hedges and trees in the landscape. Also, a country road to give perspective. I've changed to a smallish flat brush and a light red mix to suggest late autumn foliage and fence posts along that side of the road, once again smoothing out harsh lines with clean water. I've introduced the light red into that side of the road to bring some warmth into that side and to balance out the warmth of the sun and the sky. The other side of the road is the grey-blue mix again for a hedge, with the road widening out as it gets closer to the viewer. Then, using a drier brush, I put in the tracks through the snow so that the paint breaks up over the texture of the paper and leaves the effect of snow on the road. Use a flat brush to suggest trees and foliage in the middle distance, and clean water to soften where they grow out of the ground rather than sitting on top of it. A little bit of flicking with a rigger brush, that's the long thin one, suggests a longer different type of foliage. A light grey wash across that field to show a dip in shadow, and I think this picture already gives off that atmosphere of snowy silence I was after. A bit of grass-like foliage flicked in with the flat brush and the rigger brush in a darker mix brings the foreground forward and pushes the rest of the picture back. I thought I might add a fox slinking across the field, but I like the silence of this picture, so I just added a few birds flying away. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. It helps to keep it going.